Okay.
All right?
Yep.
Okay, let's give her a whirl. All right. I'm just going to review the seaweeds that we've been looking at for the past couple of hours. And here is just a scattering of some of the seaweeds that I harvest. Our coastline here has upwards between 600 and 700 different species, and my company, we work with about a dozen different seaweeds. Seaweeds are fundamentally known for their health properties. The science behind is getting stronger and stronger all the time about fabulously high and high quality vitamins and minerals and trace mineral elements. The vitamins A's, B's, the C's, the D, K, and all of the essential amino acids. The fiber is of superb quality, excellent for food, excellent for on your skin. It's remineralizing, rehydrating, and remoisturizing, and and we don't take out the fiber. That's one of the most significant things about my company is that we do not remove the fiber. We work with the seaweed with as little interruption in it as possible. So essentially we grind, blend, we make purees, juices, slurries of seaweeds, and put them in products to get them into spa. The seaweeds here are fundamentally three kinds: red, green, and brown. Very simple, as the seaweeds are. And the greens, for the most part, this is the most recognizable one, Fuca lactuca, and it's sea lettuce. It's very easy to introduce to people in terms of introducing them to my wild ocean garden. And it's locally known as sea lettuce. High in astringent properties, great with chlorophyll. We use it extensively throughout our products. And I work with chefs on it as well. And a very good example of the reds is this one here, the red seaweed. It's iridea. We were looking at it earlier with its iridescent properties, and it actually flashes beautiful blues in the ocean with some sunlight. It's a very textured, satiny, silky seaweed. We use it in our facial products. It has a fermented plum type taste to it, and it's very, very high in beta carotene, which is, really what people like to know when they're putting products on their face. That's the stuff, the vitamins that is good for lines, wrinkles, that kind of thing. So it's a really nice and a tough seaweed. And so we don't take the fiber out. We work with this seaweed and we just blend it right down, smooth. Those are the reds. The big giant seaweeds that we have out here, our coastline is grand. Our trees and forests here have a grand element to it, and so do our seaweeds. This is Costeria costata. It's a really fun seaweed, and it's very textured, and I love taking Americans out because they say, wow, it looks like an alligator, and that's exactly what it looks like. But it's smooth, it's soft. The Latin name is Costeria costata. It's like a big quilt. And I work with this with artists for prints and things like that. So there's that. Of course, the class. Oh, let's do the fun one. This is rockweed. Rockweed is a very funky seaweed. It's actually pretty ugly. In fact, it's so ugly I say it's quite beautiful. And it has big puffy ends on the end of it. This is part of the reproductive system of the seaweed. But when you open up the ends, and this is where I love working with it, it oozes a beautiful, clean, clear, gelatinous, marine, like, aloe vera gel. It's super healthy with you, very high in nutrients. We work with this with our serums and facial products. And I'm just trying to get it to squeeze out so you can see it on my hand. Here it comes. There it is. Can you get that? There it is. So we take that and we just rub it. It's no smell to it. Super clean, and it's not sticky. And that's what people. That's some of the contradictions of seaweed. We have so many nasty stereotypes of seaweed, and seaweeds. My tours are designed to blow every one of those stereotypes to smithereens. And we start. And I always say, you know what? You want to look at hands that are a mess. Take a look at a chef's hands, and professional chef's hands. You know, cuts and gouges and dry spots and all that stuff. And when you take a look at a commercial fisherman's hands, big, gnarly, and all of that, but soft. And I always say to people, you know, you can't judge people by the looks on their faces anymore because of all the invasive treatments that we have. But take a look at their hands. And when you look at their hands, I'm on the coastline 300 days out of 365 days. And, you know, nothing dry, good, strong working hands. So, that's my commercial bit. Here is what the seaweed that really tells the story of the West Coast. This is the fastest growing plant on the planet. It starts off on December 21st, the winter solstice, as a microscopic type of spore, and it starts to grow. This is only, 8 months growth so far. It's the infamous bull kelp, Nereocystis, and it will continue to grow until September 21st, the fall equinox. It's a heavy seaweed. I've been hauling this around for a bit. Bull kelp, and it shows the fronds so beautifully, and very soft like tresses, very clean, no smell. This is the big float part. First Nations use this for ooligan oils. First Nations also use seaweeds such as this to make rope and for the black cod fishery. But the seaweed, and kids of course, excellent skipping rope, and but no root system on a seaweed. People ask me, well, what's different between the seaweed of an ocean garden and what's going on in the land garden? So the ocean garden, it does not have a root system. It has this beautiful, smooth, textured holdfast. So it clings to rocks. And by clinging to rocks, it is not anchored in a soil. It's not anchored in a sediment, so it cannot take nutrients up through a soil. They are designed to rise up in the water column, very sleek, very sexy, and they move right up. This seaweed will be an impressive 30 to 35 meters by the end of August. And so the fastest growing plant on the planet. I always say when I take out high school kids on the tours that to entice them, we go out and take a look at sex on the beach. And the sex on the beach here is right here. This is the reproductive area of the seaweed. And so in harvesting seaweeds, it's very important to know, you harvest them away from the reproductive area. And that's what we do. So I know where, how, and what with all the seaweeds. So when we harvest, we keep it clear. It allows the seaweed to continue to grow and to reproduce. All of which is critical in a world now where we are gobbling up our wild resources. Anyway.
Okay.
That's it.
Thanks, Diane. Diane is the Seaweed Lady, and she works out here on the outer coast off Vancouver Island, about 45 minutes north of Victoria. And this morning we saw 2 herons, a pair of herons, blue herons, an eagle sitting in a crow's nest, and crows cawing at it very angrily because the babies are probably in that nest. We saw some seals and lots of other wildlife.